Good afternoon. We are at the Veen property. We're going to be completing a repairability test. We'll be on this left slope, which is southwest. We have this damaged shingle here. We'll do our repair test on that one, and we'll see how it affects all of those surrounding shingles. I'll give you an overview of all of those surrounding shingles before we get started. Give you close-ups of these tabs right above. You can see they're all still sealed down. For my tools, I'll be using a roof snake, putty knife, hammer, and flat bar. And then we have this 45-degree tool that we'll be using to show that we'll be lifting the shingles up to 45 degrees and no higher than that. We'll get started by unsealing all of these tabs. We'll use the putty knife to unseal the top shingles here. And we'll use a flat bar to unseal the rest of the shingles. See if there's any differences in those two tools. Now we'll start removing these nails, so we'll place this 45-degree tool underneath the tabs here. Get that propped up, so that's at 45 degrees there. Should be all the nails, so we'll go ahead and simulate a repair. To do that, we'll slide the damaged shingle out, and then we'll slide it back in, doing the same motions and manipulating the shingles the same way you would for an actual repair, so that should give us the most accurate results. to determine whether or not this roof is repairable. Now we'll start getting some nails back in there. We'll be using the roof snake for that. Alright, we're all complete with the repair test. Give you guys another overview here of all of those surrounding shingles. We're going to take a closer look at these tabs right above. Looks like we can see some stress fractures that were caused see this one real good. Got a stress fracture all across there. What those stress fractures are is the fiberglass matting on that shingle is breaking in those areas, and that's going to be damaging the integrity of the shingle and affecting its water shedding capabilities, as the matting is the main component for that. And just to give you a side-by-side comparison of these shingles that we had to manipulate in order to complete that repair test compared to these unaffected shingles up here, still sealed down. You can see a big difference in the condition of these unaffected shingles compared to these shingles that we did have to manipulate. Give you a side-by-side comparison of those. Same thing along with these. And we'll take a look at any mat transfer that was caused when we were unsealing those shingles. Now it looks like we can see some mat transfer there. You can see where that left some exposed fiberglass showing through the bottom of that tab. Some more mat transfer along this one, along with the exposed fibers. And that mat transfer will also be damaging the integrity of those shingles. As we can see, it's taking chunks of the matting on there that's supposed to shed the water. That's transferring onto another shingle. So that'll also be damaging the integrity of the shingle and making it more difficult for those shingles to reseal properly once repairs have been made. More mat transfer along here. And exposed fiberglass. transfer right there. So you can see mat transfer underneath every single one of those tabs. And at the beginning of the video, when we were unsealing, we used the putty knife to unseal this top one, and then the flat bar to unseal all of these. You can see mat transfer along both of those rows of shingles, showing that it will be impossible to get around that mat transfer no matter what tool is used. So with all of those damages, the stress fractures along with the mat transfer, I do not believe that repairs are feasible to this roof.